One
Only
is,
two?
suppose I'm a drywall person,
Yes.
and I need to have a smooth wall in my house, like the walls in this office. So I have to put drywall on the
No,
inside.
we don't use gypsum-based products.
Ah,
You don't use
okay.
gypsum.
Tell me what you do.
So we can either leave it natural like this and put a plaster on it, or put a lime stucco, and we can milk it smooth. We can make it really nice and smooth.
This very material.
This is very adobe looking, right?
I happen to like that.
But this very material, we could milk it with a trowel, nice and smooth.
Yeah.
We could get it just like these walls.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
An alternate method is to use magnesium oxide board, which we are doing on our current project, where we have framed to the interior of our 12-inch thickness, attached our magnesium oxide board, which adds racking strength to the frame and gives us a smooth surface to put our breathable paint on afterwards.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Not
so
only
you
that,
have a whole
that's
new system of
a
construction.
different,
that way.
a more updated system of construction that has actually reduced our construction labor by 20%.
Yeah. Now, what about a two-story building, two-story residence? What do I need in order to give it the structural strength to go up 2 stories?
The structural engineer will specify 2x4s at 24 on center for a 2-story building. That's a 40% saving on a traditional 2-story construction. Traditional 2-story construction requires 2x6s at 16 on the ground floor, 2x4s, maybe 2x6s at 16 on the second floor. Right?
So I wouldn't need steel or anything.
You don't
any,
need
any
the steel.
external.
No.
The structural members could be inside this wall.
These are your structural members right here. These represent our 2x4s, okay, and around that we're encapsulating with hempcrete. The hempcrete is non-structural, which makes it a lot easier to mold and form and use, but it adds structural integrity to the overall frame because now it's locking it into place. That it's not going to go anywhere because it's locked into place by that hempcrete.
Right. Now, what about, in Hawaii? This is very appealing for Hawaii, in my opinion. But what about termites? Is this going to be appealing to? Well, we have them.
Termites hate this stuff.
Yeah, because of the
lime.
Because of the lime.
High pH. The lime is a septic, so it's like anything. If you it's caustic. Any animal, insect, or rodent that wants to get in and try and eat this is not only going to get sick if they last that long, but they can't breathe it, so they go for other places. I used to build in Los Angeles.
Are you a contractor?
I'm a general contractor.
You are,
right? So I built for many years in Los Angeles, and every new project we would import. Inadvertently, we would be importing termites and new lumber. When we'd finished building the remodel, the extension, or the new project, we'd have to tent it and fumigate it. No need to do it with this. There's $1,500 saved on a regular house.
Would you use treated wood for the
no need
because
for treated
the
wood.
lime would get into the wood and have the same effect.
No, it doesn't, because the hemp and the lime together wicks away all the water. Not only that, that lumber's not going to warp because it's locked into place, right? That's why we need to buy kiln-dried lumber traditionally, because otherwise it's going to warp your walls.
So suppose I'm really impressed, and I am actually really impressed, and I want to build my house or some structure out of this. Where do I start?
Well, you start by going to hemptechnologies.com, looking at all the technical information, look at all the fancy pictures of what we've done and where we're going, building and so forth. And then just contact us, email us, telephone us, or whatever. We're available all over the globe, actually, to consult on building. We're consulting to the Canadian government right now on building uses of hemp. Next spring we're starting on the first hemp house in Canada, in Winnipeg, where it gets to 40 below. I'm heading to New Zealand in the next couple of days to start on the project down there for the first hemp house. And they grow hemp there, right? They just don't know how to decorticate it. So we're going to help them with that too.
And the whole point is that the environment benefits, and the people that work in the building benefit, and the people that live in the building benefit.
Yeah.
So it really makes sense, particularly for Hawaii. Imagine not having to have an air conditioning running all day long, this Capitol is a great example of a huge waste of
Oh, yes.
power. I
Yeah.
mean,
In
well,
our tropical weather, this would be perfect.
it would be.
It won't burn, will it?
It
This
won't
is not
burn.
flammable,
It's
right?
not flammable.
Talk about, tell them about the house in Paris.
Oh, we visited, my partner and I visited a house in Paris last year, 2-story hemp house. Everything inside the house burned in a house fire except the 4 hemp walls.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That tells you something.
That's amazing. Zurich Insurance have transferred to us a 60% discount on homeowners insurance because it won't burn. Our rate has gone from 22 cents a hundred to 13 cents a hundred because this just won't burn. We did a fire test in France with this, with our 12-inch block, 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit, right? Typical house fire. 4.5 hours. After 4.5 hours, only the first inch on the inside of the wall was singed. You could still put your bare hand on the outside of the wall. Okay?
Yeah.
That just tells you. That's because it's thermal mass. And that's the way we're going to have our houses valued in the future. That's the way insurance companies and mortgage companies are going to value your project and say yes or no on giving you a loan based on how is your home going to perform. The old way of building houses, you know, and I've been guilty of it as myself for years and years before I came across a way to build sustainably. They last 15, 25 years. They're ready to be replaced. There's no life cycle there. The oldest hemp house known to man right now is in Japan. It's over 300 years old. You know, the Yokomura family has turned their hemp house into a museum. They're in an earthquake zone. They're in a flood zone. They're in a hurricane zone. Right? Now, another benefit of this is the sound absorption qualities. We use it as around the house. This first house at 3,500 feet elevation on the mountain. And it's howling wind up there. One day, it's, you know, about, I think it was 105 miles an hour, this wind. And I was inside with the engineers, quiet as a mouse, couldn't hear anything outside.
And if it cracks, not that I would wish that.
It doesn't matter.
Because
Jay, it doesn't matter if it cracks because let's say we've used lime on the outside here. This is natural lime, okay? We don't need expansion joints like we do with regular cement stucco.
Because it's elastic.
Because it's elastic. Because the DNA structure is like a starburst with lime. With cement, it's like a fissure. When it cracks, okay? With lime, you don't need expansion joints. And with any new structure, it's going to settle and move, right? So you're going to get those hairline cracks, those spider cracks. In 3 months, you won't see them. They're gone. Because lime is self-healing. Now, the lime is the biggest part of this material combination. The hemp becomes the filler. If we compare, and you're probably thinking to yourself, well, can't we use other waste products like kenaf or flax or linseed stalks or even corn stalks, right?
Yeah.
The University of Bath, a few years ago now, did a study under 5,000 magnification. They took these different waste cellulose materials and studied them. And the hemp was the only cellulosic material that had the air capillaries through it to be able to move the air and the moisture compared to any other material. And wood is cellulose. If you take wood shavings and put them in some water, they blow up and expand, right? Suck up all the water. Hemp will absorb it, but it won't suck it and increase in size, okay?